Straightforward?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Bismillah. Are we ready to, inshallah, start? Everybody? You ready to start, inshallah? Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وتقا وهدى يا أرحم الراحمين. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وإن خير الهدي هدي نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وإن كل بدعة ضلالة وإن كل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. So as I said, for the sisters, if they would like to join us, they can join us on this side of the room, inshallah. Alright, so let's begin. Today, we are going to talk about, I kept talking about this, right, last time, for a whole week. I was like, hey, so we're going to talk about a prophet. He's not mentioned by name, but his story is mentioned in the Qur'an. Okay? So, have we heard about this verse? I'm not going to recite the whole thing, but let me know if you heard about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الْمَلَإِ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مُوسَىٰ إِذْ قَالُوا لِنَبِيٍّ لَهُ ابْعَثْ لَنَا مَلِكًا نُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Have we heard about this verse? In which the Israelites asked their prophet that they give them a king so they can fight. Have you heard about something like that? No? Well, it's a whole page from Surah Al-Baqarah that is talking about the story of Talut and Jalut. Have we heard about that? Talut and Jalut, Goliath, David and Goliath. So there's a whole page, or it's actually 2 pages, but the first page of that is going to be in Surah Al-Baqarah, the Juz' 2, the second Juz' of the Qur'an, the one that is before the last page. And this is where the prophet that we're going to talk about today, or one of the 2 prophets that we're going to talk about today, is mentioned. Now, before that, we talked about last time that the Israelites did not follow their prophets, and they started worshipping Baal again, right? The idol, the fictional god that the Phoenicians worshipped. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed the giants who are like Goliath, for instance, they allowed them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to win over or against the Israelites, and they took the tomb, right? Tabut al-Sakina, the tomb that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, and with that tomb they were always victorious because it was blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those giants were from Ashkelon and Gaza, and they actually took over some areas from the Israelites. One of these areas would be near Dar'a, which is in modern day Syria. So for those who does not know, it's around here, around this area. Okay? Alright. Before I proceed, the giants, like Jalut, like Goliath, those people, some people actually said, historically, some historical scholars, they said that they were people who traveled by ship from the island of Crete. So the island of Crete is around here. It's in modern day Greece, and where Turkey and Greece is, in the Mediterranean. So that they actually came from there. So whether they are Greek or Phoenicians, because remember back then I said that Greece itself, it was said that the name Europe comes from that the Phoenicians, they had a queen, her name is Aruba. And she came over and fled Carthage, in modern day Tunisia, because of the persecution that she was facing by her family. And she went to where Greece is, her and whoever supported her, and then they had their own kingdom, and hence it was called Europe based on her name. It was called Europa. instead of Aruba, right? Because they can't mention the A sound, so they said Aruba, and through time it became Europa, Europe. Okay? Other scholars said that they're actually Phoenicians. But something that supports the idea that they came overseas, especially from the eastern of the Mediterranean, or the western, sorry, of the Mediterranean, that they found some scripts in the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics that talks about the giants who occupied Palestine and took over the land and evacuated the original Phoenicians and Canaanite people, and they came from overseas. So this is what kind of backs, like a physical evidence. Anyways, however, so those giants who came from Ashkelon, which is Asqalan, it's in Palestine, in the southern part of Palestine. Also, they also occupied Gaza, which is also here in southern part of Palestine. And they killed a lot of the Israelites. A lot of the Israelites were killed. They imprisoned a lot of the Israelites as well. So, during that time, they stopped having a prophet. They don't have a prophet no more. And they lost their tombs. So they were in a situation which we say in Arabic, وَضْع لَا يُحْسَدْ عَلَيْهِ. They were in a situation that other people won't envy them because it's a really terrible situation. However, one lady, she was a descendant of Levi, Lawi. So the prophethood was passed through the descendants of Levi, Lawi. If we remember the 12 tribes of Israel, one of them, his name is Lawi, or Levi in English. So the prophets like Musa, Harun, they descend from Lawi. And the prophethood remained in them. So this woman, she descended from Lawi. And she was pregnant with a child. And the case of Banu Israel, the Israelites, became very miserable. So she said, "Oh Allah, if you make this child a male, I will devote him for you." And she named him, he was born, and when he was born, he was a male, so she named him Samuel or Shamuel, which means Ismail, which means Sami'a Allahu du'a'ak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heard your plea. So, when he was born, he grew up, she sent him to the masjid. In the masjid, there was a very good scholar, a good man, so he would train him, he would teach him, he would, explain for him about Islam and religion, so he can become, like a Jewish priest. However, one time he was sleeping. And while he was sleeping, he noticed there was a sound. He woke up to a sound. Somebody's calling his name. He's like, Samuel. So he wakes up, and then he looks around. There is nobody. He's a little bit scared. Who's calling him? And then he looks, and he only finds his mentor. He's the priest, the good man. So he wanted to wake him up. He thought that this man called him. So he woke him up, and he said, "Did you call me?" So the good man realized what was going on, and he did not want to scare him, so he told him, "No, don't worry, I called you, just go to sleep, it's nothing." So he goes back to sleep, but then he's being called again by his name. Somebody's like, "Samuel." So he wakes up, he goes back to sleep, and then somebody calls him, "Samuel." This time he wakes up and he finds Jibreel alayhi salam. He was standing there. And he tells him, "Samuel, you were sent to your people for a certain message that you need to deliver." And hence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, Surah Al-Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي له ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين. So Shamuel, he approached his people and he told them, started telling them, start following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, stop worshipping Baal. The reason why all of this is happening to us because you started worshipping idols, you stopped worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Banu Israel at this time, they felt so miserable, right? So they started saying, well, how about you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have a king, and this king would lead us into victory. And he said, why do you need the king? They said, because we want to fight. We were kicked out from our homes, we were kicked out, our children were killed, they're imprisoned, etc. We want to take back what is ours. The tomb was taken from us. So he said, okay, are you guys going to fight? I mean, if you guys remember the past couple of weeks when we were talking about the Israelites, do they have a beautiful history? No, right? So he's like, okay, listen, are you gonna fight or not? Are you just asking me to be like, okay, we're gonna fight, but then once the time comes to fight, you are actually going to bail? So they said, no, of course we're gonna fight. Why wouldn't we fight? We were kicked out from our home. Money was taken from us. We were killed. So then comes the ayah in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ بَعَثَ لَكُمْ طَالُوتَ مَلِكًا قَالُوا أَنَّىٰ يَكُونُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ عَلَيْنَا وَنَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْكِ مِنْهُ وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ وَاللَّهُ يُؤْتِي مُلْكَهُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَن يَأْتِيَكُمُ التَّابُوتُ فِيهِ سَكِينَةٌ مِّن رَّبِّكُمْ وَبَقِيَّةٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَىٰ وَآلُ هَارُونَ تَحْمِلُهُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُّؤْمِنِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told Samuel that He chose one man, who's Talut. Now how this story goes is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, told to Samuel, He told him, bring a staff with a certain height, and whoever is going to have the same height as the staff, then this is going to be the king of the Israelites. So they got a staff, the same height as described by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then each of the Israelites started measuring their height, and only Talut, he was the only one who had the same height as the staff. So he was chosen as the king. So at this point, Talut, some people said he worked as, in watering, like he would give water to people. But others reported that he was actually a tanner. You know what is a tanner? The bell, like the one who does the skin, right? The one who works with the skin, taking out the skin and stuff like that. So they looked down upon him. And there was another thing. I said that the prophethood comes from the descendants of Levi, right? Lawi. The kings would descend from Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda. Talut was not from the tribe of Yehuda. Talut was from the tribe of Binyamin, the brother of Yusuf, the brother from his both mother and father. Unlike the other Asbat, the other 11, the other 10, they were brothers to Yusuf, but only through the father, not through the mother. So they were like, okay, well, why did you choose him? This man, look what he works. He does not have money. Okay, many of us have money, many of us are wealthy, we're better than him, and he's not even descended of Yehuda. So Samuel tells them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen him, so you have to follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees in him that he has a better strength. He's a good looking, and he also has a better knowledge than anybody of you. And that he actually had knowledge just second after Samuel. So Samuel, he's the prophet, so he has all the knowledge. And then the one who would come after him is Talut. So then Samuel told them that the mark or the sign of him becoming a king is that you are going to get back the tomb, Tabut al-Sakin. This tomb, it was reported that it has many valuable things that were left from the descendants of Musa and Harun alayhim as-salam. Some said that there was a bucket of gold in which the prophets used to clean their chests. Others said that there were al-man, the fruit that descended upon Bani Israel when they were lost in Sinai in the desert. Others said that there were a Torah, the original Torah that descended upon Musa alayhi salam. So he said that once you get that back, then that's the sign, the mark that Talut is going to be the king. What happened with the tomb? The tomb was taken by the giants. They took it with them, and then they had their sanam, their statue, the idol that they worship. And then they put the tomb beneath the statue as a mark of despise. You know, they're making fun of the Israelites and the religion of Islam. And remember that the Israelites were not just fighting only the Israelites. There were also the other Semitic tribes with them, the descendants of Ibrahim. There were Arabs who were fighting with them as well, and Aramaic people and Assyrians. So the next morning, the giants would wake up, and then they would find out that the tomb is actually on top of the head of the idol. How did this happen? Nobody knows. So they take it again and put it beneath the idol, beneath the leg of the idol. The next morning they wake up, they find that it is again on top of the head of the idol. So they're mocking Islam, they're mocking the religion, mocking Allah subhanahu so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mocking them and their idol. The next morning he puts the tomb on top of the head of the idol. That, you know, that this idol is worth nothing. And this is a blessed thing by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they figured out that this is not something they would joke about, right? So they decided to keep it at one of their villages. But once they did this, the blessing is gone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descended a punishment upon them, a disease on their neck. So the giants began to be frustrated. So they're like, okay, you know what? We want to get rid of this thing. All right, it's bad news for us. We want to get rid of it. So what they did is they grabbed a wheel. They tied the tomb to the wheel, and they tied the wheel to two cows, and they released the cows, and they said, you know, just go wherever. They let the cows go wherever, and wherever this tomb goes, it goes. So the angels were sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They took the tomb, as the ayah says, تحمله الملائكة, and they took the tomb and went to where Banu Israel are, and they gave the tomb to Banu Israel. And that as an evidence, as a big sign for them, they witnessed the malaika on the same way they look. So that they see that this is no joke, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supports them, and that they stop betraying. So they took the tomb and began the journey to fight against the giants began. Now it was the journey to get back what was taken from the Israelites. So they were trying to cross Jordan River. I believe Jordan River, it's in the middle between Jordan and Palestine. I think where the Dead Sea is, right? So over here, if you look at the map, it's over here. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? We have Palestinians among us, right? In the middle, yeah. So they were trying to cross into Qasr Hakim in the place known as, I think, Marj al-Safar, which is in modern day Dar'a, where Dar'a, near the city of Dar'a in Syria. So they were trying to cross from here to here. So this is Qunaitra, this is the place of Dar'a. So they're trying to cross all the way here. So they stopped at the river, and Talut said, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, فَلَمَّا فَصَلَ طَالُوتُ بِالْجُنُودِ قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مُبْتَلِيكُم بِنَهَرٍ فَمَن شَرِبَ مِنْهُ فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي وَمَن لَّمْ يَطْعَمْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي إِلَّا مَنِ اغْتَرَفَ غُرْفَةً بِيَدِهِ فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِّنْهُمْ فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَهُ هُوَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ قَالُوا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا الْيَوْمَ بِجَالُوتَ وَجُنُودِهِ قَالَ الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُم مُّلَاقُو اللَّهِ كَم مِّن فِئَةٍ قَلِيلَةٍ غَلَبَتْ فِئَةً كَثِيرَةً بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. So Talut told them, we're gonna approach Jordan River. Don't drink from the river unless you're just taking like a small amount. Just, you put your hand, this is the amount you have, you drink from that. So they were 80,000, an army of 80,000. 76,000 drank from the river. They opposed the order. And he was left with only 4,000 people to fight Jalut. And by the way, they're giants. Jalut and his army, they were giants. So we're talking about 6-story building, something like that. So imagine you're standing in front of a 6-story building or more, and you're fighting that. I don't even think 80,000 is enough to fight this thing. Correct? So he was only left with 4,000. And then even those 4,000, they were like, okay, we're so little. Like now those guys, they don't want to fight. And now we're 4,000, we're so little, we're not going to fight. So some of them even resigned. So, why does not Palestine belong to the Israelites or the Jews? Because of how many opportunities they were given. How many opportunities they were given for Palestine? And all of these opportunities were blown away. That's actually one small reason of a bigger reason to why Palestine does not belong to the Israelites or the Jews. And the other reason we always talk about, right? Because the Jews we know today, the Ashkenazi Jews in Palestine, they're not even Israelites. So you're talking about what, 95% of the Jewish population around the world, they're not even Israelites. So the Jews you witness outside here in America, they're not Israelites. They have nothing to do with Ibrahim. They're just converts. Their ancestors converted to Judaism, and that's it. And I always say, is every Muslim Arab? No, right? Not every Christian is an Aramaic, and not every Jewish is an Israel. Same thing. So anyways, they approached Jalut. And he went out, this giant man with his army of giants, okay? And they're just like, roughly 3,000, 2,000 something. And they just look at it. He's like, oh my God, this man, he's like so big with his army, they're so huge, what are we gonna do? But there was one man who was courageous. Dawood alayhi salam. So Jalut, he saw how his army was shaking, they were scared, so he stood and he said, okay, listen everybody. And he's like, I'm willing to make this sacrifice. Whoever kills Jalut, I'll give him my daughter and I'll give him my kingdom. He will become the king after me. So I don't know if Talut was like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm 100% sure nobody is going to be able to do this. So I'm not going to lose my daughter. I'm not going to lose my kingdom. But there was one man who was very courageous to do it. Dawood alayhi salam. Dawood, he was short. He was just a little short guy with blue eyes. But he had one beautiful skill. He was able to use the mangonel. Do you know what's the mangonel? Minjaniq. The old tank, basically. Right? So it was like, you have this, and there's like this hand, and you would throw rocks. And it would destroy castles and kill a lot of people. So Dawood alayhi salam, he was really skillful with this. He was really good with using that. So he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to kill this man. And I'll take his daughter, I'll marry her, and I'll become the new king of the Israelites. And Dawood, he descends from Yehuda. So while he was walking towards, to the fight, there was a rock, and a rock talked to him. And it said, take me and throw me because I'll be the reason why Jalut is going to be killed. So he takes the rock. I mean, if a table talks to you, would you listen to the table? Right? Yeah, that's something really weird, right? So that's definitely something from Allah. So you would do that. So he walked a few steps, and another rock said the same thing. He walked again, another third rock said the same thing. So he approached Jalut. Jalut goes up. The whole army looks at the army of Talut. They're like laughing hysterically, like, come on guys, like really, go back. We don't want to kill you, go back to your home. They're trying to be, sweet and cute and nice. So Jalut is like, okay, you know what? You're insisting, who's gonna fight me? You have this six stories building guy telling you who's gonna fight. So everybody is scared. The whole Israelites, they were like, no. They were like backing, they were like, no. But Dawood then goes up and he's like, hey, you big bully, I'm gonna fight you. So Jalut looks at him and he's like, go back, I don't want to fight. I don't want to kill you. You're too cute. I don't want to kill you. So Dawood is like, no, I want to kill you. He's like, man, listen. I don't feel like I want to kill you, okay? It's not even worth my time. There's no fun to me. So Dawood is like, he's courage and he has this, he's challenging him. He says, hey, listen, I will have fun killing you. So Jalut is like, okay, fine. So then Dawood grabs the 3 rocks, he puts them into the weapon, and the rocks merges into one big rock. He throws it hits the head of Jalut, and it separates it into 2 halves. And he falls dead. So the whole army of giants, they look at their leader, he's dead by this short guy. So the whole army flees, escapes. And then the Israelites starts chasing them, killing them one by one. And they won the battle. So Talut approaches Dawood and he fulfills the promise. And he lets him marry his daughter. And he also gives him part of his kingdom. Now, the Israelites were super happy. So they started leaning towards Dawood. They liked Dawood more than Talut. Alright? And now they established a strong kingdom. The United Hebrew Kingdom. And people wanted Dawood to be the king, not Talut. So Talut started being jealous. He started envying Dawood. So he was like, you know what? I wanna depose Dawood. I want to take him down, and I want to kill him. Right? So the scholars, they told Talut, what are you doing? Like, killing is not okay in our religion, you know that. So Talut said, you know what? Whoever says this to me, I'm going to kill him. So he killed a lot of the priests. But then Talut, he started regretting that. He regret what he's done. So Talut started crying and he went to the cemetery. And he started, weeping over the people he killed, because killing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, وَكَتَبْنَا to Bani Israel, it was written to Bani Israel specifically that if you kill one soul, it's like you're killing all of the souls on earth. So Talut, he feels like he did something. How many souls did he kill? So he started, crying over these souls he killed. And he cried so much that his tears filled the ground. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let the people who are in their graves talk, and they said, "Oh Talut, you hurt us when we were alive by killing us, and now you're hurting us with your tears. It's filling our grave and your sound." And so Talut even started crying even more. That he feels like he hurts a lot of people. So then he asked the scholars, or who was remaining from them. He said, who can I talk to, a good scholar that I can, repent, do tawbah? And they told him, I mean, did you leave anybody? You killed everyone. So Talut started feeling really, guilty. So the story goes like with two scenarios. Well, there were two scenarios that were reported. The first scenario was that he witnessed a dream in which he saw the prophet Samuel. Samuel, by this time, he's dead. He saw Prophet Samuel and he told him, what have you done after me? You have corrupted in the land. The other scenario says that he approached a woman that was known to be a very good woman, and he asked her what he can do to repent, and she took him to the grave of Yusha ibn Nun. Do you remember Yusha ibn Nun, the prophet from last time? She took him to his grave, and with a miracle of Allah or something like that, he was resurrected alive again. And then he said, this is the day of judgment. And she told him, no, but this is Talut. He wants to ask you, how can he repent? But Ibn Kathir and many scholars said the more accurate one is that he witnessed a dream of Samuel, because the lady, she's not a prophet, and a miracle is only given to a prophet. So this is a very odd, description of like she went and like the dead is resurrected. That's very weird. So the more accepted story by most of the majority of the scholars is that he witnessed a dream of Samuel, and then Samuel told him, you need to repent. So Talut said, how can I repent? So Samuel tells him, you need to overthrow yourself as a king and give the kingdom to David. He becomes the king. And you need to fight alongside your 13 children until you die. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to forgive you. And this is what he did. He overthrew himself, and he took his 13 children, and they fought, and they were killed in the battle. And they died. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave Talut. And he ruled for 40 years. After that, who comes the king is Dawood alayhi salam. Okay? And as we said, he's just a short man with blue eyes. He killed Jalut in Marj al-Safar, near modern-day Dar'a. Dawood was known to be as a very justful man. That some of the people said that from him, he was taken as our role model. That they said a saying in which they say, "As-Sultan dhillullahi fil ard." The king, he should be the shadow of Allah on earth. He should have, he should be justful. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is justful, so he should be justful. He should be a good man. Alright? And another characteristic is that Dawood alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alana lahu al-hadid. He made the metal soft for him. So before him, people would make shield from copper, like weak material. But he was the first smith in history, Dawood. So he would craft from metal a lot of things. So if you think about it, what do we have in this room that is metal? What do we have that is crafted from metal? A lot of things, right? The first man to create or to establish this industry was Dawood alayhi salam. So without Dawood alayhi salam, we would not have anything crafted from metal today. And the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ أَطْيَبَ مَا أَكَلَ الرَّجُلُ مِنْ كَسْبِهِ وَإِنَّ نَبِيَّ اللَّهِ دَاوُدْ كَانَ يَأْكُلُ مِنْ كَسْبِ يَدِهِ. The most delicious thing that you would eat is something that you bought from your own work. You got your money from your own work and you bought that. This is the most delicious thing you eat. And Dawood alayhi salam, he used to work as well and get money, even though he was a king. Right? Modern day kings and presidents who have millions. Where are they getting it from? Right? Are they working? He used to work. He would not steal from the storage of the country, right? From the money of the people. He would actually go and work. Dawood, a prophet, right? So he would go and work. He would sell the shields that he made of metal. It was reported about 6,000 dirham. And during that time, it was a different currency, so don't compare it to the Emirates dirhams, okay? So Not just this. If we approach any king today, any president, any leader, and we tell him to fast and pray, what does he say? Man, I have so much responsibilities in the country. I can't. If I fast, I'm going to be tired. Let's not talk about the kings. Little kids, can we fast tomorrow? Are you guys down to fast tomorrow? Oh, okay, you actually said yes. Okay, I see that. Okay, I see what you guys are doing. But anyways, you get the point. If you tell the youth, right, or anyone, even an older person, if you tell me, let's fast, he starts complaining. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna fast. I have work. I'm not gonna fast tomorrow. It's fine. I'll make it up later. Okay, this man, Dawood, he used to fast every other day. So today he's fasting, tomorrow he's not, after tomorrow he is fasting, and so on for his whole life. And he used to pray every night, the last third of the night. So the last third, like in our modern day standards, like tonight, it's going to start from 1:58 and it ends at Fajr. So how many hours is that? Like 4 hours? Around that? So 3-4 hours. So he would, during this 4 to 3 hours, he's not watching TV. He's praying. And he's a king and a prophet. So could you imagine the responsibilities he has? Yet he's fasting. Yet he is praying. And he's being justified. And he is working and getting the money from his own work. The Prophet ﷺ said, أحب الصلاة إلى الله صلاة داود وأحب الصيام إلى الله صيام داود كان ينام نصف الليل ويقوم ثلثه وينام سدسه وكان يصوم يوما ويفطر يوما ولا يفر إذا لاقى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet ﷺ is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most favored way of praying is the prayer of Dawood. He would sleep half of the night and then wake up at the last third of the night and he would start praying. And then the remaining 1/6 of the night he would sleep in that. And the best fasting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes is the fasting of Dawood. That he would fast a day and leave a day, and so on. And Dawood, he would never run away from a battle. He was so courageous. Another thing of Dawood, Dawood was a messenger, not just a prophet. Kana Rasul. Why? We all know the Holy Bible, right? The Bible. And the Bible is composed of the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament is basically the Gospels and Injil, right? The ones that were revealed to Isa alayhi salam. The Old Testament is the first 5, what do you call them? Asfar in English. Help me. Sifr. What is Sifr in English? In English. Asfar. Books. Was it book? Genesis. Genesis and I forgot the term, but I'll try to remember. Maybe books. I believe it's books. I think it's called books. So, anyways, the first 5 parts, they are the Torah. And also, there is a part from the Old Testament, it's known as the Psalms, or the Psalms. I think the Psalms is how you pronounce it. Right, the Psalms.
Psalms of David.
The Psalms of David.
Yes.
In Arabic, they're known as Zabur.
Zabur, yes.
Or Mazamir Dawood.
Yes. That's the Psalms of David.
Yes, the Psalms of David. This was descended to him. And he would recite this. By the way, they would recite Torah and Injil the same way we recite the Qur'an. This is the word of Allah. Torah, Injil, all these are the word of Allah. But the ones back then. So today, the Bible that we have today, it's not the same. It's corrupted, it's rewritten. Okay? So he would recite, and he had a beautiful voice, Dawood alayhi salam. He had a beautiful voice, that of 70 beautiful voices. And that when he reads, he starts reciting, the mountains would start, you would start hearing it saying, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. They would get so excited. And that birds, when they're flying, they would stop, they would descend and start listening to Dawood, alayhi salam. And the animals would stop, they would forget that they need to drink or eat, and they would die from thirst and hunger because They forgot about eating or drinking and they're just listening to Dawood alayhi salam because of how beautiful his voice is. You know who's the closest person to have the voice of Dawood alayhi salam? Do you know who's that person? Of course, the Prophet ﷺ has the best of everything, but he's a Sahaba. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, he had the closest voice to Dawood that the Prophet ﷺ said, told Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, he told him, recite for me. You were given just one of the mazamir of Dawood, one of the instruments, the sounds of Dawood, just one. So how about Dawood himself? It was revealed that also the Zabur was descended or was revealed upon Dawood in Ramadan. Also during the Day of Judgment, when Dawood wakes up, when he is resurrected, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, recite and glorify me the same way you glorified me in the earthly life. Dawood says, but oh Allah, you took my voice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him, I will give it back to you. So all of us are going to witness this in the Day of Judgment. We're going to stand and we're going to hear Dawood alayhi salam recite. Not just this. What does the Prophet ﷺ also says? He says that يقال لصاحب القرآن اقرأ وارقى ورتل كما كنت ترتل في دار الدنيا فإن منزلتك عند آخر آية تقرأ بها. So Dawood alayhi salam would recite the Mizmar. But us Muslims, we are also going to recite in front of all humans. By the way, in the Day of Judgment, we're talking about since Adam until the end of humanity. Not just this, also the jinn and other creatures. Imagine that all of them are standing in front of you and you're going to recite. So the Prophet ﷺ says that the person who recites Qur'an in our life and he memorizes the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to tell him, recite until the last ayah you memorized in your earthly life. So imagine yourself standing. There is Adam, there is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there is Dawood, there is Isa, Musa, all of these prophets, the Sahaba. Everyone in front of you, they're just listening to you, paying attention to you, and you're reciting the Quran. So, do we want to memorize the Quran? Right? Kids, do we want to memorize the Quran? Do you want to recite the Quran in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? They're going to have applause for you. Inshallah. But you know what's the most beautiful thing? Do you know what's the most beautiful thing? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to pay attention to your recitation. Allah. He is going to stop, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and pay attention to you. He's going to listen to your recitation. And you're going to recite His words. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what's going to happen with Dawood alayhi salam in the Day of Judgment. Okay. How was he justified? One day, Dawood alayhi salam, in his humble house, he's a king, remember? He's a king of one of the strongest countries back then, strong kingdom. But he did not live in a palace. He did not live in a fancy palace with a plane made of gold, right? He lived in a humble house. And he was in his house. Two men knock the door. And one man claims, he says, this man took my cow. You're a justful person. You're our king. Do something about it. So Dawood tells them, come back to me at night. So at night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals him and he says, the man who said that the other person took his cow, kill this man. Does that make sense? So the man who's asking for his own rights, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, kill this man. That's strange, right? So Dawood alayhi salam, they would come again and Dawood alayhi salam would say, listen man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have to kill you. Why? So the man realizes, okay, there is no escape. And Dawood tells him, don't lie, I'm going to kill you either ways, okay? Whether you told me whether or not it's an order by Allah, I'm going to kill you. So let people know why you were killed. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered me to kill you. So the man said, okay, this is not my cow, this is his cow. So he was lying about the cow. Not just this, he also said, I actually killed his father, and hence I'm doing this whole thing so I can escape this. So Dawood ordered for this man to be killed. Another story is, two women came to Dawood alayhi salam, and there was a baby. So one woman said, okay, this is my child, this is my baby. The other woman said, no, this is my baby. So Dawood alayhi salam says, okay, listen, I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to kill him. So one of the ladies, she rushes to the baby. She's like, no, please don't kill him. And he says, okay, I know now who's the mother. And he dismisses the other lady. Because he was smart. He knew that the parents, they are so scared for their children. They're not going to let this happen. The other lady, she did not care. She let him die. So that was some of the justful things of Dawood. Also, you know, shahadat az-zur, false witnessing. This is one of the greatest things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is against. Shahadat az-zur. Shahadat az-zur, it's like, or false witnessing is like, there's a crime that's committed, and then there is, let's say, there's a man and there's somebody who killed, and then you get somebody, and this someone says, oh, this man did not kill anybody. But he knows that, who's the killer and all of that. So basically he lies. So this became common with the Israelites. And they started corrupting. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Dawood a chain made of gold. This chain would be connected from the rock of Bayt al-Maqdis. Do you know the dome of the rock? Qibbat al-Sakhra? There is a rock just beneath the dome. We don't have a dome here. Just beneath the dome. You know what's the dome, right? Just beneath it, there's a rock. Hence it's called the Dome of the Rock. This is, I think, the holiest spot in Al-Quds. Is that correct? So this is the holiest spot. And if you go, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us go and pray in Al-Quds, inshallah, and we get rid of the Sahayna, the Zionists, inshallah. We take back Palestine, which is, inshallah, belongs to all Muslims. Inshallah, we have a very beautiful Jum'ah prayer there, inshallah, with a beautiful time, inshallah. So, if we go there, inshallah, you will see the footprints of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's printed on the rock, because during the Isra and Mi'raj, the Prophet, he led the prayer of all of the other prophets and messengers. So his foot is stamped there, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, they would hang this chain from this rock all the way to the sky. And if he has case, he would let both of these guys climb. And whoever is right, he is going to climb to the top. So the Israelites would know that this is the man who has his right. So, however, it remained until one guy was trying to be smart. There was a pearl. And one man said, no, this is my pearl. The other guy said, no, this is my pearl. So the man who stole the pearl, he had a staff, and once they approached this thing they needed to climb, he gave the staff to the other guy, and he hid the pearl inside it. And then he said, oh Allah, you are a witness that I gave him back his pearl, so let me climb this. So the man climbs, and then the other man climbs. So the Israelites are looking, like, what? Like, they're so confused. They're like, okay, how is this even possible? So they mistrusted this and they stopped using it. And they stopped using this no more. Okay. So we also talked about that, inshallah. Okay. The Prophet ﷺ, how many wives did he marry? Around 9, I believe. 9, 11. Yeah. So he was one of the time he was marrying one of his wives. And the Jews, the Israelites of his time, especially I think Huyay ibn al-Akhtab, that's his name, the leader of the Israelites or the Jews, they were saying, oh, look at the Prophet. If he was a true Prophet, he would not care for marrying. And this is actually a response to modern day people who say, the Prophet ﷺ, why did he marry a lot of women? So the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, so these guys are talking about me marrying nine women. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُؤْتِي مُلْكَهُ مَن يَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يُعْطِي فَضْلَهُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives his blessings to whoever he wants. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the permission to marry the amount of women I was given. Alright, what about Dawood and Sulaiman? They're prophets, right? They're Jewish prophets. Dawood alayhi salam married 100 women. 100. Sulaiman married 1,000. He had 1,000 wives. So I don't want to hear a single Israelite today, or a Jewish, or a Christian tell me the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why does he have so many wives? They're prophets. Sulaiman alayhi salam has 1,000 wives. What are you talking about? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has like a cute number compared to Sulaiman. And it's not bad, by the way, that Sulaiman and Dawood alayhi salam, they have this amount of wives. They were given permission by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah yu'ti mulkahu man yasha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gives his blessings and kingdom to whoever he wants. Another thing that is really beautiful about Dawood alayhi salam, that his whole family were worshippers. So Dawood would fast, he would pray. His whole family are like that as well. Dawood had many children. I mean, obviously he had 100 wives, right? So he had many children. And all of them would fast, all of them would pray, the whole household. So Dawood ruled for a very long time. And he died at the age of 100. How do we know that? Prophet ﷺ said, I've talked before about the 5 stages of life in one of my Friday khutbahs. And I said that there is the stage of alam al-dhar, there is the stage of al-hayat dunya, there is the stage of alam al-barzakh, there is then the stage of yawm al-qiyamah, and then the eternal life. So I'll explain it briefly, but it's confusing, it needs more time, but in a way that might not confuse you. So where are we now? Right now, me, you, everybody that we see around us, this is the second stage of life, which is known as al-hayat dunya, right? I'll give you my example. I'm not married yet, so I don't have a child. But if I would ever get married or have a child, my child exists. But he is not born yet. He is not born into al-hayat al-dunya. He is in the first stage of life, which is known as alam al-dhar. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he created Adam, from Adam comes all humans. He created all the other souls. It's mentioned in the Qur'an, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he like masaha ala dhahr Adam. He like rubbed or touched like briefly the back of Adam. And from this came all the humans, everyone. So Adam alayhi salam would look at the souls of all other humans. And he would witness all of us. So, okay, let me explain this. So Adam alayhi salam, he saw me, he saw you, he saw everybody in front of him. And all of us, all the humans, they had like a light coming from their mouth and eyes. So one of the people Adam saw, he really liked the light. It was very much like glowing. So he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a hadith by the Prophet. Adam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, oh Allah, who's this man? I really like the glow that comes from him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that is one from your descendants. His name is Dawood. And I'm going to give him great kingdom and all that. So Adam says, I really like this man. Can you give him 40 years of my life? So Dawood's original age was 60 years. Adam donated 40 years. So Dawood lived 100 years. When Adam alayhi salam was approaching death, the angel of death came to him and he said, it's your time. But Adam said, no, I have 40 years remaining. But the angel of death said, no, you remember you donated it to Dawood. And he said, no, I don't remember donating it to anybody. Give me my 40 years. So the Prophet ﷺ says, فَنَسِيَ آدَمْ فَنَسِيَ الْبَشَرِ. That Adam forgot, so we got this aspect from him. Now we forget as well. So, how did Dawood alayhi salam die? Dawood alayhi salam, he was a jealous man. Okay? He would be jealous over his wife and the girls in his family. So when he leaves his house, he would lock the windows and he would lock the doors. So he doesn't want to let any men, peek. So one time he did this, he walked away, but then his wife, she's turning around and she finds this man in the middle of the house. I know, every time we talk about the death of one of the prophets, it's always this man in the front of the house. Okay, so it's not a horror story, it's an actual story. So there's this man in the house. So she looks at him, she's like, "Wayhak," like, "Hey, how did you get into the house? If Dawood sees you, you're dead." This man is jealous, he does not joke about that. So Dawood comes and he sees the man. And then he's like, "How did you get into the house?" So the wife says, "We just found him." So Dawood stares at him, he's like, "Oh, I know who you are." And the man says, "Yes, it's me, the angel of death. It is your time." So Dawood, he was descending from a mihrab, just like this. I don't know what's the English term for it. Mihrab, this is called mihrab. Right?
Pulpit.
What is it?
Pulpit. Pulpit.
Pulpit?
Pulpit.
Pulpit.
Yes.
Yes, it's a pulpit, right? So this is called a mihrab, pulpit, right? And it would have stairs. So he was descending from that in his house. And then he told the angel of death, "Okay, can I at least reach the floor and you can take my soul?" And he said, "Oh, Dawood, there are no more years, there are no more months, there are no more rizq, blessing or food or wealth or anything from Allah. Like it's over. You have zero. You have zero in your bank account. That's it. You have to die at this instant." So Dawood decided to die like that. He bowed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he took his soul and he died bowing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do we have time? No. So let's conclude with this last thing. So we're going to talk about Sulaiman next time. So now it's the funeral of Dawood. The Israelites, they cried a lot for the death of Dawood because of how just he was. It was said that they cried even more than crying for Musa and Harun. And that he had a funeral, there were like 40,000 priests, just priests in his funeral. And of course his son Sulaiman, he would become the new king. So the priests were saying, "Oh, Sulaiman," during the funeral of Dawood alayhi salam, while they're burying him, "The sun is really hot and it's really hot. Can you do something about that? Can you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about something about that?" Sulaiman ullima mantiq at-tayr. He was taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the language of the birds and other animals, so he can speak with a bird. Right? So literally if he sees a bird, he would speak to it, he would understand. So he told the birds, "Go and cover the sun with your wings." So the birds started covering the sun. And so they would be overcrowded, the Israelites, so they can all fit beneath the birds. And then they said, "Oh, it's overcrowded, we're choking." So he said, "Okay," to the birds, "Cover the wing of the sun, but don't let your wing cover where the air is coming from, where the wind is flowing from." So at that day, the sun was covered with the wings of the birds and the wind was flowing. All of that because of the miracle of Sulaiman, that he was able to talk with the bird, and the Israelites were very amazed by this. This man can talk with the birds, and from here starts the great kingdom of Sulaiman, inshallah, which is we're gonna talk about it, inshallah, next time. I promised you a surprise. I know we don't have time. I think we have 20 minutes for salah. So I need to fulfill my promise, just like Talib did, right? So, what is the surprise? You all know the family tree I constructed, right? The tree of all nations. So let me bring that up real quick. Which one is it? It's this one. Is it this one? Okay. Who's our prophet? Who's the one we love the most? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How is he connected to Adam alayhi salam? What is his lineage to Adam? Muhammad. Can you see? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ibn Abdillah. It's very far. Ibn Abdillah. Okay. Ibn Abdil Muttalib. So that's Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ibn Abdillah. Ibn Abdil Muttalib. Ibn Hashim. Ibn Abdi Manaf. Let me go a little bit further. Ibn Abdi Manaf. Ibn Qusay. This is Qusay. Ibn Kilab. Ibn Murrah. Ibn Ka'b. Ibn Lu'ay. Ibn Murrah. Ibn Ka'b. Ibn Lu'ay. Ibn Ghalib. Ibn Fahr. Fahr is known as Quraysh the Middle. Alright? Fahr is the son of Malik. Fahr ibn Malik ibn al-Nudar. Nudar, his name is Quraysh. And Nudar, the reason why he was named Quraysh, there was a big animal in the sea that the Arabs used to be scared from. So An-Nudar took a boat and he killed this animal, and this animal was known as Quraysh. So he was given the nickname Quraysh. So he is Malik ibn al-Nudar. An-Nudar is the son of Kinana. Kinana is the son of, where did it go? The son of Khuzaymah. Khuzaymah is the son of Muddarika. Muddarika is the son of Ilyas. Ilyas is the son of Mudar. Mudar is the son of Nizar. Nizar is the son of Ma'ad. And Quraysh and Banu Qais, this is where they separate, at Mudar. Banu Qais, they are from the brother of Mudar. So we said Nizar ibn Ma'ad, and Ma'ad is the son of Adnan, who is the progenitor of all of the Adnani Arabs. Adnan is the son of, okay, here the names get a little bit. Adnan ibn Adad, Adad ibn al-Hamisa, and al-Hamisa, he is the son of Sulaiman. Sulaiman is the son of Aus. Aus is the son of, what is it? Bauz. Bauz is the son of, he's the son of Qinwal. Qinwal is the son of Ubay. Ubay is the son of Imwal. This is Imwal. Imwal is the son of Nashid. Nashid is the son of Hazza. And the mouse cursor is stuck. And Hazza is the son of Bildas. And Bildas is the son of Yadlaf. And Yadlaf is the son of Tabikh. Tabikh is the son of Jahim. Jahim is the son of Nahish. Nahish is the son of Makha. Makha is the son of Ayd. Ayd is the son of Abqar. Abqar is the son of Ubayd. Ubayd is the son of Ad-Da'a. Ad-Da'a is the son of Hamdan. Hamdan is the son of Sanbar. Sanbar is the son of Yathraba. Yathruba is the son of Yahzan. Yahzan is the son of Yalhan. Yalhan is the son of Ar'awa. And Ar'awa is the son of Ayd. Ayd is the son of Dayshan. Dayshan is the son of Aysar. And Aysar is going to be the son of Afnad. Afnad is the son of Ayham. Ayham is the son of Maqsar. Maqsar is the son of Nahith. Nahith is the son of Zarih. Zarih is the son of Sama. The son of Sama. Sama is the son of Mazza. Mazza is the son of Awdah. Awdah is the son of Iram. Iram is the son of Qaydar. Qaydar is the son of Ismail alayhi salam, who is the son of Ibrahim. Ibrahim, who is the son of Azar or Tarih, who is the son of Nahur, who is the son of Saruq. Saruq is the son of Ra'u. Ra'u is the son of Al-Qasim. Al-Qasim is the son of Hud alayhi salam. Hud alayhi salam is the son of Shalikh. Shalikh is the son of Arfakhashad, who is the son of Sam. Sam is the son of Nuh. Nuh alayhi salam, he is the son of Lamek. Lamek is the son of Matoshlach. Matoshlach is the son of Idris alayhi salam. Idris is the son of Yared. Yared is the son of Mihla'il. Mihla'il, he is the son of Qinan. Qinan is the son of Anush. And Anush is the son of Shayth. Shayth alayhi salam is the son of Adam. alayhi salam. So that is nasab Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam all the way to Adam alayhi salam. And there are poetry written about each of the ancestors of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the ancestors of the prophets, they were a big thing. Like Qusay ibn Kilab, I was just talking with one of the brothers before the salah. Qusay ibn Kilab, he was the first king of Mecca, crowned king. And he was raised in Damascus, not in Mecca. And Quraysh, they were around Mecca. They were not actually the people of Mecca. And Qusay, he established an army alongside his brother Zuhra, who is the ancestor of the mother of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Amina bint Wahab. And they took over Mecca and kicked out the tribe who was ruling there. And he crowned himself the king of Mecca. So that was Nasab Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just like as a quick thing, inshallah, and this is what we're going to conclude with. Those are the Israelites, who are the children of whom? Israel, Yaqub alayhi salam. This is Yaqub. Yaqub, he had Bulha, Rahil, Zulfa, Waliya. And from, I think, Leah, we have Dina, Isakhar, Zabulon, Yehuda, and Rubi. And we talked about today Dawood alayhi salam. So let us go all the way to Dawood. Dawood, he descends from Yehuda, who is the father of Faris, Faris with a sad, not with a sin, Faris, who is the father of Hasran, who is the father of Iram, who is the father of Uwaynadir, who is the father of Nahshan, who is the father of Salamon, who is the father of Abir. Abir, he is the father of Uwayd. Uwayd is the father of Aisha. Aisha is the father of Dawood alayhi salam, who is the father of Sulaiman. We don't have time to talk about the genealogy of Talut and Samuel, but Samuel, he descends from Qarun, not Harun, Qarun. Alright, inshallah, maybe we can present the whole thing next time, inshallah, but we don't have time. We gotta do the prayers. So, Jazakumullah khair. Next time, we'll talk about Sulaiman alayhi salam. And when we're done with Sulaiman alayhi salam, we're gonna talk about, inshallah, the division of the Hebrew kingdom. And we're gonna have the northern and the southern, and how the Torah. Next time, we're gonna talk about how the Torah was corrupted. How was it rewritten? Next time, inshallah. So that's very exciting, right? Inshallah. And remember when I talked about Namrud? That was like March. Everything is going to be tied together. All the way to our modern time. Inshallah. Everything is going to be tied together. So next time is a very, very important lecture. So come over, inshallah. Spread the word. Your families, friends, everybody come, inshallah. Mashallah, today we have a beautiful crowd. Let's have, inshallah, a better crowd, inshallah, next time. Okay? So, because this is very important, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair wa barak bikum. Let's do a quick dua, inshallah. Allahumma hadina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik lana fi ma a'tayt, wa qina wasrif 'anna sharra ma qadayt. Innaka taqdi bil haqqi wa innahu la yuqda 'alayk, wa innahu la yadhillu man walayt, wa la ya'izzu man 'adayt. Tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alayt. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك بكم وأحسن إليكم